All right. Hello, hello, everybody. Good morning. Dr. Nick here, and you are listening to Holistic Mental Health for Women Solopreneurs, where we prioritize our wellness so we do not burn out. Hi, everybody. Hello, hello. I am back for another day of conversations around self care as we lead up to tomorrow, which is International Self Care Day. Today, I am joined by Ronnie. so it's we actually it's so funny because we met through work and I moved to her hometown and she does not no longer lives in her hometown but she's home for the week. So we decided let's do it together,
Yeah.
like together.
Yeah.
So here we are. And today, this week has been so powerful. We've talked about so many different aspects of self care. Um, and let me say it one more time for those who may not have heard me say it before. International Self Care Day is Friday, July 24th. The reason that date was chosen is because 7/24 is a reminder to us that self care is a 24/7 lifestyle. It is. Yes, isn't that cool?
That is pretty
Yes, yes. So it is not an event. It is not just something that we schedule, although those things are great that we do. But what we are really looking at is how we set up our lives, how we pattern our lives to prioritize our wellness and honor our capacity, and so that we are able to go after our dreams and building whatever it is we are meant to be doing while we're here without killing ourselves in the process, right? So, powerful conversations this week. Today will be no different. One of the reasons why I asked Ronnie to come on with me is because she is doing something so amazing. She is going after a dream of hers that is so beautiful and so powerful and surrounds self care. And so, one of the things that I am very passionate about is helping women get in the mindset that they are able to stop abandoning their dreams and go after what they really want in life. So no settling, no, this isn't the time. I don't have this. I'm not enough. I'm not all the things that we battle in our minds. What if I'm crazy? What if it won't work? What if it does? Right? What if it does work? What if you were put here to do this thing that is in your heart to do? And we need to be able to create the space, the energy, the intention to be able to go after these things. And when we don't pursue what is in our heart to do, so many things can happen. Depression, we start losing our sense of self, we start losing our joy. Um, I've coached many women who say they don't even know who they are anymore. Why? Because they've been giving out, giving out, supporting everyone else's dreams, building the company's vision. That's the company maybe they work for that doesn't even care about whether they're there tomorrow or not because they can be replaced, right? They can be replaced. So it's time to prioritize the things that are in us to do. Now, that doesn't mean you have to go off and quit your job and do all that. It doesn't mean any of that. What it means is that you are now creating the space with intention in your life to prioritize the desires, the dreams that have been placed in your heart. You're going after purpose, right? So that is a part of self care. So I want to just allow Ronnie to share a little bit. I want to say, okay, first, wh- what 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 are your thoughts on what I just said on going after dreams and or not that struggle, the tension that we have often as women?
Oh my God. I can speak to this because I was one of those people just kind of sitting on the fence, just kind of sitting on the fence about my dreams while being miserable. And you can have a lot of regrets. And so I know for me, that was something that I knew I've always wanted to build something and do something. And I tried many different things. I'm the type of person you'll never know unless you try, right? Even if it fails, you gave it a shot. So I tried several things. They didn't all work out. One thing was going great, but then COVID hit and I had to, you know, let it go. I say temporarily because at some point it'll come back.
Mhm.
But I think it's very important that women, we really start to go after the things that we want. I think that is something that we have been, what's been put in us is to take care of other people, take care of the kids, take care of the family, take care of everyone else. And that our dreams and our priorities don't matter. And a lot of women also feel like they have to wait until the children are adults or they're old enough. And by that time, you're like, okay, now what do I want to do? You have this dream that's inside of you, but you're struggling with how do I get it? As she mentioned, who am I now at this point in my life? And so I think it's really important. I think that, if you're someone that's just watching this live and you're trying to figure out how can I follow my dreams and even still work? I still work a 9 to 5. So while I'm building out what I'm doing, and what I'm doing is for women. And this is one of those things that I never thought I would be building. I never thought I would be building. I just went through this transformation in my 40s, and I was like, if this is what 40s are like, this sucks. And the whole time I was going through perimenopause, I was like, I hate this. And, no one gave me the answers, and so I just went on this journey to get answers and talk to other women, and so in those conversations, I met other women who looked like me, who had very similar stories. No one talked to them about, going through the change. No one, educated them. They knew they felt different, or they were dismissed going to the doctors. Kinda in my case, I was dismissed 3 times, and so I was like, "Okay, how do I solve this problem?" And so it was just like God had it in my heart to, it's just this nudge, right? To go after this and to build something. And so not because it's popular or the thing right now, but because I knew that my community of women needed that. And so um it was a challenge. And I'll be honest, it's like, how do I do this? And
Mm.
still work. And will anybody buy it? Will anybody do that? And that's another thing I think women we struggle with. Like, who's going to listen to me? Who's going to buy this? Who's going to support me? Because we often want the support from friends and family. And I'll be honest with you, that holds a lot of women back too. A lot of women
Yeah.
it keeps them from moving forward. And so, but your biggest supporters are not going to always be your friends and family. They're going to be strangers that you meet on the internet every day.
Yes.
So I would say, yeah, I totally agree. When you don't follow your dream and follow what's in your heart, you do abandon yourself. And for many of us women, that's something that I feel we have been conditioned to do
Right.
because it's often put everyone else first and our needs come last. And our
Yes.
needs should come first.
Absolutely. And that is not leading lady energy, right? We've been
Mhm.
talking about leading lady energy this week. We want to be the leading ladies of our lives. And one of the
Mhm.
ways that we can do that is by stopping the abandonment of ourselves, stopping the abandonment of our dreams, the desires in our hearts, those little thoughts that come up like, "Oh, I wonder if. Oh, what if?" And then we're like, "Oh no. I ain't got time for that. I don't have time to." Yes, let's take the time. Let's pause.
Mhm.
Let's figure this out because sometimes the thing that stops us is we have this beautiful idea, thought, dream, and because we don't know what the end is gonna look like,
Mhm.
we drop it and it feels too big. But what if we just figured out the first step? What if we gave it that much just enough attention to figure out the first step, which then leads to the next, and it becomes an expansive thing. So it's just a little bit of a mindset shift, to be able to center yourself in your world because we
Mhm.
are so conditioned to not center ourselves, as we've talked about throughout this week.
Mhm.
So, Ronnie, for you, you said that in your 40s, you were like, if this is what it looks like, I don't want it. I don't want it. I hate it here. And I'm sure many of us can relate to that. I know I can relate to that. That's really that I hate it here thing was part of why I have gotten so big into fitness.
Mhm.
Is because I hated feeling tired. I hated feeling sluggish. I hated my clothes. Like every time I would go in the closet, I'm like, oh, this don't fit anymore. I love that outfit. This does not fit me. Like, and it wasn't just about the way I looked in my clothes. It was really about the way I felt about myself
Right.
and the way I felt in my body, like the energy that I had, the stamina that I had, you know. Now I am a big workout person. I always have my water. I always like I am at it, y'all. I am at it. I just finished a 30-day Pilates challenge.
Nice.
Yes, it was so fun, girl. It was fun. Hey, have
I
you ever
love
been to Hot Works?
No.
You gotta go to Hot Works with me.
Okay.
Okay, she's gonna come to Hot
I'm
Works
gonna
with
go
me.
to Hot Works
Yeah,
with
she's
her.
gonna come to Hot Works. But yeah, if y'all haven't been to Hot Works, I know I talk about it like I own it. I don't own it.
If y'all see this, sponsor her because she talks.
Yeah, yes, Hot Works people, I sponsor me. Yes, I love Hot Works, y'all. But one of the reasons is because fitness movement, it helps shift so much about your just your whole mental
Yeah.
space. You know what I'm saying? So it yes, I have gotten results in my body, in my physical body. Yes, I have. I've looked better in my clothes. I'm able to buy certain clothes that I wasn't able to buy before. But it also is like I'm showing up for myself. I am showing up for myself consistently
Yeah.
in the sauna, doing the Pilates, doing the weight training, going on the walks, doing all the things. And everything that I'm mentioning has multiple benefits.
Mhm.
I get some of my greatest ideas on my walks, business ideas, you know. So I
And you also have the energy
exactly.
to do the thing that you really want to do. That's the other thing about working out is it helps to boost your serotonin and those dopamine levels. And so it gives you, like she mentioned, a different mindset shift, but it also puts you in this mindset of, man, I can go out and I can tackle the day. And um, the things that I really want to do, you're now motivated to do some of those things. So, like,
Yes.
a lot of times we put so much on our to do list
Mm,
and we don't want to get to them because we don't have the energy. But I bet you if you start working out and just taking care of yourself, it's just 1% of your day. You have to dedicate 1% of your day. You are worth an hour, you are worth 30 minutes, you are worth 15 minutes.
mhm.
And you don't have to start big, just movement. Walking, especially for women, if you're over 40 watching this, walking is probably the best thing besides strength training.
Absolutely.
So just, that's you, that's your time before it. And sometimes it might require sacrifice, especially if you have small children at home. It may mean that you got to get up an extra 30 minutes early just to do something for you. One of the things I used to recommend to clients was like this, those that didn't have a lot of time and they said, you know what, I want to journal and I want to do this and I want to do that. And so we would come up with this 20-20-20 plan
Mm,
over the course of an hour. So they would do like 20 minutes of working out or stretching or whatever it is they wanted to do, 20 minutes of reading or meditating, 20 minutes of journaling or whatever the other self care thing was. And that was how they started their day.
love that.
And
20, 20, 20.
20. So
Okay.
everything was in 20-minute blocks because they didn't have a lot of time in their day after once they get to work and then coming home and doing, things with the kids. And so it's like, I want to do all of these things, but I don't have time.
Yeah.
So we had to just like, what's going to be realistic for them? And
Yeah.
so that was what was realistic. I used to set stuff up like that too with my direct reports. They would say, I want to do this, but I got to come and sit all day. Well, how about we set this same thing up 20-20-20, or you can break that hour up however you want it to be, um, as you're prepping for work, just so that
Yeah.
you are getting yourself in the right mindset to start the day. And even in the evening, I'm a person I like to work out in the morning. because I have a different type of energy. If I sit too long during the day and I get to the evening, I don't want to work out.
Right, right.
So I'd rather get it over with. But yeah, it's important. Yeah, take care of yourself. As I have gotten older, and I would just share, self disclose this a little bit. My mom was always a hard worker, and I've been taking care of my mom recently. But one of the things I noticed about my mom is my mom never took care of herself. And so now she's been kind of what I like to say, kind of forced into this position where I now have to take care of myself. And so you don't want to be someone that's forced into that position where now I got to be forced to take care of myself. I have to be forced to move my body. I have to be forced to do all of these things that I could have been doing all along to possibly prevent, these other things from happening.
Yeah.
Um, so just finding the right time where I won't get too tired. Yeah,
Yeah, shorter walks.
shorter
Yeah,
walks.
and they say that. I was watching this one fitness coach and they were talking about how they call them exercise snacks,
Mhm,
the exercise snacks. So um take like you said, taking shorter walks, maybe 10 minutes, even 5 minutes,
mhm,
like doing stuff like that. Or like if you're washing the dishes in the kitchen or something, do 10 jumping jacks
mhm.
and that's it. And then, right before bed, maybe do some stretching or, like it doesn't have to be, I think whenever I'm working with clients and we're doing goal setting, one of the things, whether you're talking about fitness or whether you're talking about pursuing your dreams and starting like a new project or something, people always feel like they have to have
Mhm.
this huge block of time to to feel like you're moving forward,
Right.
but you really just need consistency. So even if you have these short burst of exercise or short bursts of time when you're working on that idea, that
Yeah.
project that won't let you go, and you're like, yes, I need to do this. Well, you don't have to figure it all out in the next week, but you could take an hour a day, 15 minutes a day
Right.
to write down the ideas, come back to them, and do that with consistency. And over time,
Yep.
you're going to have that thing,
Yep.
whatever it
There it
ends up
is.
being.
Yeah.
I think both of us can speak to that in the things that we're creating now and things that we've created in the past and in our work with our clients, that
Mhm.
this is true. Like these small bursts spurts of time are
Mhm.
powerful. They're
Yeah.
so powerful.
And another thing too I can speak to just with the walking before we, pivot back to, following your dreams is one of the things that helps me is when I need to walk to the mailbox, I stay in an apartment, of course. I'll take the long way around if I gotta go check the mail. So
Mhm,
I get extra steps in that way.
mhm,
Um, if I have to go out and run an errand and the parking lot is big, I may park further away to get the extra steps in. So it's all about really being creative. I got a walking pad and a standing desk. So if I'm working, I can still get my steps in and, count
mm,
that. And there's like these bands now that you can put around your ankle, which if you have like an Apple Watch or something, and it'll count those steps for you.
mm.
So, yeah, so there are different ways to be creative. And even after you eat the end of the day, and you say, I'm just going to go outside and just walk for 10, 15 minutes. It's really all about being intentional and being consistent. Yeah.
Right, ladies? This is all these creative ideas. This is what we want to spark so that we can stay in a place of awareness of what we need to prioritize ourselves, what
Right.
we need to make sure that we're taking care of ourselves in every aspect of our lives. So that the fitness piece is so important because it really fuels every other piece. Because if we don't feel good in our bodies, what are we really going to be out here
Not going to be
pursuing?
motivated to
Right.
follow your dreams at
Right.
all.
We're not
Yeah.
going to be wanting to do anything but lay down, lay
Right.
down somewhere. And to your point when you were talking about your mom, and thank you for sharing that. Um, I was in a caregiving situation earlier this year with my grandmother, and it's kind of the same type of situation. My grandmother never took care of herself ever. It didn't matter. Didn't matter what you suggested to her, what you told her. It did not matter. She wasn't doing it. Okay, she was not doing it.
Yeah.
And now we are in a situation where she is non-ambulatory. If you guys don't know what that means, that means she cannot move. She cannot do anything for herself. And she really, everything that she has that is impeding her body right now is something that was preventable.
Yeah.
Is something that was preventable. And that is what I don't want for us. Okay. I don't want us to be in those types of situations. So not only did she not take care of herself because she just wanted to eat whatever she wanted
Yep.
to eat and be happy and do whatever. The thing is, she wasn't really happy because also on
Yep.
top of that, what she was not doing was doing what was in her heart to do
Yeah.
because there was always a reason. There was always this. There was all, and granted, there were things that happened in her life that were not fair, right? But all of us can probably look to our lives and see something that was not necessarily fair,
Yeah.
right? And we have to decide.
Yep.
This is a part of self care as well. We
Making that
talked about
decision.
this yesterday. We have got to decide what we're going to do about what has happened to us.
Yeah.
Are we going to let that define us? Are we going to let that shape us? Or are we going to do the inner work that we need to do to be able to show up healthy, whole, present in our lives and do what we were created to do,
Right.
right? We have that agency to be able to do that.
Mhm.
So she said her grandma loved Bluebell.
And took her and see, my mom love her ice cream. And even though she's not supposed to have it and have you gotta get to a point where you just say, okay,
What are you
Imma
gonna
let you
do?
Imma let you live your life because I can't I'm not gonna keep fussing at you about doing the right thing. But what you're saying is so true. It all starts with making a decision in terms of what you wanna do. And then also, you mentioned earlier about creating a list. I think it's important when you're creating that list to also identify what do I need to make this happen. And the
Yes.
reason that I say that is because one of the things I know that has really helped me throughout my entire career is being connected to other people who are also going in the upward direction. And so community is important. You cannot I'm just gonna be honest. I'm not saying that it can't happen. It can, but it's a bit of a challenge being trying to get to a level of success that you want to get to by yourself. You need people, you need help, you need support. Whatever that looks like, I can't do what I'm doing by myself. I have, other people I know that's doing, things and I connect with them. I've even met people on social media that I've talk to from time to time. They're probably building an app or they're probably doing something else, but it's really helpful to know that you have this connection to people. And then I also like what are the things that I can take off my plate? This is something once you get to a certain level, you probably like, okay, I can't do all of this and work. So you get to a certain point, what else do I need? I can't do all of this. Like while I'm sitting here talking to you, I got two interns that are running social media right now. So it's how do I get other people involved? I got an advisory board. So there are things that I run by them and we have meetings and to give updates and talk about what's next. And so really sit and think about what is it that you need to be successful.
Mm.
And also um and utilize that. Don't be afraid to utilize that. Don't be afraid to ask for a mentor, um, or connect with, other entrepreneurs or whatever it is that you're trying to do. Because it's a lonely journey building by yourself. I will be honest with you. It is lonely. I used to hear people say that a lot. And then when I started building this, I was like, this is lonely. And there are a lot of days where I was like, oh my God, I'm sad. Why am I so sad? Because I was feeling lonely.
Yeah.
So I had to connect, tap into my network.
Yeah.
So make sure
Absolutely.
that you have that too when you're creating your list of things.
Yeah. That's such a good point, and that's really why I created my group. It's called No More Silos.
Mhm.
So it's kind of in the beta form right now. But this is something that is I am so passionate about
Yeah.
bringing women together who are all visionaries, leaders, building something, going after something, that we no longer do this in silos. So even if we're not kind of in the same industry or
Yeah.
building the same type of thing, that doesn't matter. The point is that we're women and we're supporting one
Or
another, and we're not allowing ourselves to be in these silos where, because like, I had just posted something about this on social media and it really resonated with people. And I said, isolation is one of the greatest dangers of solopreneurship,
it is
right?
definitely.
Isolation is one of the greatest dangers of solopreneurship because we get in our heads.
Uh-huh.
um, we can talk ourselves out of things really
Mhm.
quick, whether that be the idea itself, going to the gym, whatever it is, we can talk ourselves out of it. And there's all kinds of reasons. There's all kinds of things that will take precedence if we let it.
Yeah.
And even the things that we believe about ourselves. Oh, maybe I'm not good enough. Like you mentioned, who's gonna buy this from me?
Mhm.
Who's gonna be a part of this group? Who's gonna take this class? Who's gonna, all of the things that get in our minds
Yeah.
when there are women out there who can be our biggest cheerleaders and who can celebrate us. And not only that, but we can connect people.
Mhm.
Like, she's connected me with some people. Okay. I have another podcast. We'll talk about that
Yeah.
another day, but she has connected me to people for that podcast when I've had amazing conversations with these people, getting great ideas. I mean, it's just who you have beside you is very, very
Very
important.
important. Yeah.
And oftentimes we don't have anyone beside us
So
because we
true.
get this tunnel vision and we just stay on the grind. And
Yeah.
eventually that grind, it wears out and then we stop.
Yeah.
Right. And that's what we don't want to happen because that is, even though you're grinding, it's a form of abandoning yourself
Mhm.
because you can't sustain that.
Yeah.
Right. And so being able to, like, even us doing this today, I've been telling y'all all week that these conversations have been self care to me. They have been life giving to me
Mhm.
because the women that I'm talking to have life and joy and spirit about them. And they are doing the very things that I'm talking about, which we feed off of each other.
Yeah.
And so you really do need that in your lives. It's so, 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 so important. So important. Yeah. Yeah. Okay, so let's talk about the dreams.
Okay.
Okay. Okay. So we've been talking about pursuing dreams, right? This is a
Mhm.
part of self care. I need her to tell y'all. I need her to tell y'all about her dream, why she's pursuing it. She's going to tell us maybe some challenges she's had and how great it feels to be where she's at, but maybe how scary it looked along the way. I don't know what she's going to tell us, but she's going to tell us some things about this fabulous dream because we, again, this is about not being isolated and being inspired to
Mhm.
action by other people. So tell us.
So I am building Navelle Health. Go to NavelleHealth.com. And so Navelle is a platform for Black and Brown women and other underserved women who are navigating perimenopause, menopause, postmenopause, and other hormonal challenges. And so, man, I shared with you guys a little bit earlier about why I got into building this. And so it has had a lot of ups and downs. You're gonna have that when you are working on something, and so I would say the highlights for me have been the fact that I was able to create something, and initially, before I handed this off to be created by, a team, I actually created it myself, so I was proud of myself for sitting down every night. We talked about this, being intentional with your time, and I was really intentional between 5 and 9. This is business hours for me. This was 5 and 9 PM, 5 PM to 9 PM. And I sat there and I created this entire prototype myself. I'm not a coder. I don't know nothing about coder, but I love AI. So, I just like that was the highlight, the biggest highlight for me. And the other highlight is too is knowing that there are not many spaces for us in this area. And I have an opportunity to contribute to research. For those of you who are on here, if you're a woman of color, there's not much research on us when it comes to menopause. So,
So let me stop you real quick. So tell us. So you said Novell. That's how you say it.
Navelle,
How do you spell it?
Navelle,
Navelle. That's the app. So Novell.com.
NavelleHealth.com. Mhm.
Novellhealth.com. Okay. And what is it? It's an app that.
Yeah, so it's gonna be an app. Right now we're working on phase one. So I'm gonna tell you about phase one. Phase one is community, it's resources and education. It's we do have an AI that we use, but it's only for a source. It is not to replace care. I don't believe in replacing care with AI, and I don't believe in replacing people with AI. So that's what that is there for. And it's also really going to be like a big advocacy tool for women because this is something that they can use to track their symptoms, to get all of the tools that they need. So when you're able to go to an appointment with a doctor, you're able to say, no, these are my symptoms. This is what I'm noticing. This is how often this is happening. This is what the education says behind it. There's actual research to prove this. You're telling me one thing, but I'm showing you this in real time. So um, that's what that is. So then our phase two that's coming is going to be service offering. So that is where, you'll be able to connect with providers. We provide whole woman support. One of the things about a woman in her 40s, we do not want to jump around. Oh, I don't want to go to this platform. I got to download another app for this one.
Mhm.
So no shade if it's any competitors out here. We doing it all in house, and so it's a whole woman support platform, and so that's phase two that's coming down the road, and um we are actually the app was just uploaded to iOS, and so we're just waiting for approval for that. Google has passed us. iOS is just the hardest. That's been one of the biggest challenges here lately. iOS is like been a thorn in my side. So they're very strict when you're uploading anything to their like any type of apps to their system. So, but yeah, that's what it is. So I would say that's been it. The challenges have been I have had many days where I have wanted to give up. I've had many days where I wanted to give up. I had many days where I have said, God, did you really call me to do this? Because this is a headache. But at the same time, I look at like the rewards of it, right? The rewards outweigh these challenges that I've been going through. And so I've been told no a lot. I've been, looking for funding. I had to change up the language because of the climate that we're in right now when it comes down to DEI. So I've had to change my languaging up a little bit because I don't want to be put in a position where I could potentially be sued. So just be honest. So those are the type of things that I'm faced with now. Um, but yeah, I've been wanting to give up. What keeps me going is knowing that this is a mission that's bigger than me
Mm.
and that there are women who need this and there are women who look like me who are still having the same struggles, the same problems. There's still a lack of research out here, especially in the US. And so I want to be able to contribute to something for us that really helps us be a part of these other spaces as well. So those are the things that keep me going. And then of course just having good community. So sometimes I'm like, I don't want to do this. And they like, no, but you have to. And so trust me, I've cried a bunch of nights. I have woo, like, I'm just gonna send an email and tell everybody I'm done. I've had I've
Mhm.
had those like a temper tantrum.
Mhm.
Um, but I don't do it. And what comes to me, another thing that keeps me going is I remember having this lady on my podcast. I have a podcast too called Navigating Life After 40. And I remember having this lady on my show and she was telling me about her journey as a founder. She founded a liquor brand. And she was told no 81 times before
Mm.
she got her first yes. So every time her and there was another one too. There was another lady who was on my podcast. She went to med school in her 40s. And I was like, how in the world were you able to do that? Because like I'm thinking about like perimenopause, hormonal change, how were you able to focus? And so she told me this, and this stuck with me. And it's a quote by somebody, and I cannot remember who it is. But she said, "Don't let the dream die inside of you." And so that stuck with me.
Yes.
So while I'm on this journey, like trying to talk to these women and trying to, you know, help other women, I'm also in the process of learning too. And I'm able to take these things and I use them for my own self on days when it's getting hard.
Yeah.
Because to be told no 81 times, most people will be like, I'm done.
I'm done.
Most people will be done after
After
one.
one.
Like, nope, I'm good. You told me no the first time. That means this is
That's
it.
it. I can't do
But when you
it.
right, when you know that you really have something and you say, okay, so I'm gonna get that yes at some point. And she did. She kept going and by 82, she got a yes.
That's amazing. That's
Mhm.
amazing. And yeah, don't let the dream die inside of you.
Yeah.
There's a one of my favorite ministers is Dr. Miles Monroe, who's no
Mine too.
longer with the I love Dr.
Yeah.
Miles Monroe. Oh my gosh. And he always used to say, die empty.
Mm.
Like, I want to die empty.
Yeah.
And that's it. That's what we want. We want to die empty. So, whatever is in you, let's get it out of
Get it
you.
out of you.
Let's get it out of you. Especially, like, in the world we live in and the climate we
Mm,
live in, there's so many needs, and
right.
all of us it doesn't mean that your idea might be an app, maybe that's not yours, but maybe there's something that you do that impacts one kid or one woman, and then that woman or that child goes and transforms the world in some way. We
Right.
don't know, but all we know that we have things in us that we need to honor
Right.
and be obedient to the steps that we get. And it's much easier to be obedient to the calling that's inside of us
Right.
with the right people around us, right?
Right.
And these are all again aspects of taking care of yourself, nurturing your environment and your relationships, making sure you have these people who are like-minded around you that you can listen to, and that they listen to you.
Right.
Y'all cheer each other on. Taking care of your body. We only get one, right? We only get one body. And it is the vehicle that we use to show up in the world and carry out whatever it is we've been called to carry
Right.
out. And so taking care of your body is also a part of your whole wellness and a part of going after your dreams.
And another thing too, because a lot of times we talk about self-care, we always focus on like the physical parts, the mental parts.
Mhm.
And I remember doing an episode and I tapped into this just doing some research. We always forget about financial.
Mhm.
And financial taking care of your financial well-being is a huge part of self-care too.
Absolutely.
Because we know that when we're not is not where it needs to be or we're struggling financially, we become
Stress.
stressed, depressed, anxious, sad. We start experiencing a plethora of symptoms.
Absolutely.
And one of the things I know that's been because I know that's something that's been eating at me too, building. I'm like, everything costs money. I'm just bleeding money. Do I gotta get another job? I mean, everything costs money, right? And so I kept telling myself, you need to take a vacation. And said, but I can't because I'm here now. We're right here and I gotta get ready to launch and I gotta do this. And what if I gotta come out of pocket for something else? And what came to my mind the other day was you deserve
Mm.
a vacation.
Mhm.
You deserve it. You and I have to keep telling myself that. So today I was telling myself this morning as I was getting ready, it's like, I deserve a vacation. I deserve this. I deserve that because a lot of times we talk ourselves out of things too because something may be coming up or because of our past. And we feel like because maybe there have been things in our past that have happened that we don't feel deserving of great things now.
Yeah,
And that's not true.
it's true.
And so, but yeah, I would definitely throw that in there too. Having
Yes.
your finances in order
Yes, we talked
is
about
a
that on
hard.
Tuesday.
Man, I missed it.
Yeah, you gotta it's gonna
I
be on
gotta go
it's gonna be
watch
on
it.
the podcast.
Okay, cool. Okay. But yeah, that is definitely a form of self-care, y'all, and it's so important. even if there are, because guess what? Here's the thing. You building something or being an entrepreneur, that may not be your thing. It could be that you've always wanted to take a trip somewhere, right?
Mhm.
And let's say you say, I want to go to Greece and I want to do like the dress that blows in the wind. Cause I know I really do want to do that.
Want to do that too on the swing.
Yes, I want to do that. And so if that's something that you want to do and that's like been one of your lifelong dreams, how do you plan for that? How do you write that out?
Mhm.
How do you budget for it? Um, if budgeting is a problem, saving finances is a problem. There are so many apps out here that will help you do that.
Absolutely.
But don't that's another thing. Don't let that dream die inside you because that's a dream that you have. And
Yeah.
so we often put these things off because like I don't have money, I don't have a babysitter, I don't have this. Well, I was talking to a patient yesterday and she was like, well, I want to go on vacation because I gained weight and I can't wear my shorts. So I'm just like, in my head, I'm like, oh, really? You're not gonna go on vacation because you can't wear some shorts, girl. That's what I'm thinking in my head. So I really had to, ask her some questions to challenge those thoughts. And so by the time we got through, she was like, I didn't see it that way.
Mm.
And this is someone that's really hard on herself all the time. And I have to like make her find something about herself that she likes. Like, what do you like about yourself
Mm.
on the outside and internal?
Yeah.
And as we continue to work on that and I have her practice it in between sessions, it's like, she's like, you know what? I like coming now. Cause initially when she started coming, she's like, I don't know how I'm gonna be here. Well, okay. I can only meet you where you are.
Yeah.
And now she loves coming. She's like, I want to come back next week. Okay.
That's good. That's good. She had a shift. She had a
She
mindset
did. She
shift.
had a mindset shift.
Yeah.
And so, but her thing is, vacation. I don't want to go on vacation because I can't wear the shorts.
That's a really good point to bring out about pursuing your dream or going after your dream.
Mhm.
Um, because you're right. Everybody may not be going after starting some business or some, major thing. But like I was just as you were talking about this woman with the vacation, I was thinking about myself because one of the things that is really important to me, I want a greenhouse. I want a greenhouse in my yard and I want an art studio in my house. So, right? And I'm always like, and it starts to come like this. Well, I'm not in my forever house yet. So, should I really put a little art studio? Like, is it worth it? Because I know I'm going to be leaving. But what if I'm not leaving for like 5 years?
Right.
So now I just go for 5 years without my art studio?
Yep.
I don't think so.
Right.
So it's like really trying to think about like we talked about your capacity. Where are you now? I am moving right now into a new house and I have already earmarked it. I'm like, okay, this room is going to be my art and music and creativity studio that my podcast is going to record in there. My art easel is going to be up in there, and I am determined to make it be that way because that feeds me. That's important to me.
Yep.
I'll show y'all the pictures because it's about to be cute. I even named it. It's called The Well.
Nice.
So,
Nice.
but this is something that I am finally prioritizing, and I'm not going to say anymore. Oh, I don't want to get out my paints because it's messy, and then I got to take all this time to put it away. No, it already has its home. Like it can live right there. That's its space, and I have no like I'm removing the barriers to me doing the thing that brings me life, which is painting, creativity, music, like that, my podcast, all of it has its own place,
Yeah.
right? I'm prioritizing it, saying, yes, I may not be in the exact home that I know I'm going to be in forever, but it's the home that I'm in right now.
Right. Right.
It's where I am right now. And so I'm going to make it feel good to me. I'm going to make it because I'm the leading lady of my life and this house.
Exactly.
Right? And so that's kind of the stance that I want us to take for our lives. Like
Right.
what are the areas where you may be saying, "You know what? I have put this aside and it needs to come to the forefront." because this is
Mhm.
important to me. This is valuable to me. I want to give this more time and attention in my
Mhm.
life. That is a form of self care,
Yep.
right?
Sure is.
Yeah.
Sure is.
Yeah.
So no more abandoning your space.
That's right. Yes, I'm gonna have my space. I'm so excited. Yes. And yes, I'm definitely gonna come back and show y'all.
I love it. I can't wait.
Yeah, yeah. So this has been such a great conversation. I love this conversation. These conversations are so awesome, so powerful. I have enjoyed them so much. I personally, I will be back tomorrow morning though to close us out for the week. So come back, but I won't have a guest with me. It'll just be me, kind of recapping the week and letting everybody know some of the highlights of the week and how you can stay connected. Because, like, the whole point of this is not so we can just have great conversations,
Mhm.
right? The point of this is so that we can build connections with each other so that you can know who I am and you can know who some of the people are that I feel are doing great work that you can connect with and follow. Because, you guys, this conversation being timed toward the end of the summer is perfect because what do people start doing as we get to the end of the year? Oh my gosh, I didn't do what I said I was going to do in January and February. I got to do whatever it is before this year ends. And so the end of the year is the time, it's a big time for people to start kind of tightening up and looking at themselves and looking at, okay, what do I really want
Right.
for the end of this year? What do I want my 2026 to be? And so I'm going to have some events and if you want to be a part of any of my groups, I will talk a bit more about that tomorrow so that you can connect and stay connected, right? Because we don't want to just have the conversation and be like, "Oh, that girl Nicole, she did those self-care conversations. They were so great." Okay, and go on
Right.
about my business.
Right.
No.
Right.
We want to stay connected. We want to tap in, especially if you really feel that these messages have resonated with you and they've touched something in you and you're like, yeah, I need that. I need this in my life. I need this message, this community, these people to stay connected to and to just be a part of my community,
Mhm.
you know?
Can I challenge you guys to do one thing real quick?
Yes, please challenge us.
It was as she was talking, this came to me. But if you're somebody who journals, even if you don't journal, if you have a phone, you can do a voice note. I tell people who don't like to write, do a voice note. Um, but the challenge is think about the things that you have been putting off. What parts of yourself have you abandoned? Think about that and write it out. And then ask yourself, why have you abandoned this part of who you are? And what can I start doing? What small steps can I start doing to no longer put this part of who I am on the shelf, right? Um, and then also think about too, if I don't fulfill the thing that I really want to do, what is it gonna cost me?
Mm,
Do you want to leave this world with regrets? Or do you want, and I'll even say this, because sometimes, whatever, if you have a higher power that you um talk to or whatever it is, mine is God, but whatever it is, if that's telling you to do something or pulling at you to do something, do you want to be obedient to that voice? And if you don't be obedient to it, what is it going to cost you?
mm,
Because sometimes when we don't follow the thing that we really want to do, it can cost us later in
absolutely.
a ton of different ways. And then it'll come back to your mind. You say, you know what? This is happening because you didn't do this. Mhm. And so that's just my challenge for you guys to just really sit with that and think about it and start taking like small steps. They can be 5 minutes, 10 minutes, uh, but it's all about being intentional and being consistent. And I promise you, if you start doing those things, you'll get excited. You'll see that spark come back up,
Mm,
and then you'll say, okay, now 5 minutes is 10 minutes. 10 minutes is gonna turn into like 30 minutes now. And then you'll find yourself just doing this thing that you're excited about. There were nights when I would have to make myself go to sleep because even though I'm like, okay, my hours are going to be 5 to 9, I would look up and it's like 11 o'clock because I'm really excited about what I'm doing.
Mhm.
So I have to stop myself and say, okay, you got to like put a cutoff time for you got to go to sleep. And I would be so excited. Like, I can just keep going, but I got to go to sleep. My body has to get some
Mhm.
rest. So that's my challenge for you all is to do that. Um, because you don't want to leave this world. And as I mentioned earlier, I was thinking about, talking about my mom. You don't want to leave this world not doing the things that you really want to do or talking and doing a lot of talking about, I want to do this and I want to do that, but you never take the time to pursue it. You never plan, you never schedule, you never do any of those things. And then you find yourself at 80 years old, 70 years old, possibly in a position where now you can't do it or having regrets.
Yeah.
So, my challenge to you guys,
Yes. Awesome.
homework. I always leave with homework.
I love homework. I love homework, and I just wanna say that that kind of thing, that kind of activity, that's the kind of things that we're gonna do in the community
Mhm.
together, through some masterminding, through some group coaching. So definitely stay connected so that you can tap into things like that. Um, and I just want to leave you guys with one last story slash thought
Mhm.
that I thought of as you were speaking. So this year, I've mentioned it a little bit this week. This year has been a very difficult year in my life. It started off just y'all. It was a hard 2026 has been rough,
Yeah.
okay? And one of the most difficult things that happened is that I lost one of my very, very best friends
Mm.
to cancer.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That.
Yeah. And I've experienced multiple losses this year, but that one is the one that kind of knocked the air out of me. And like, I was not stable
Mhm.
for a little bit. But this is what happened when her sister called me and told me that they didn't think that she was going to make it through the end of the month. And this was back in April. I was devastated, of course. But after I was done speaking to her sister, I then was speaking to God, or he was speaking to me. And one of the things that he did was he took me back through all the conversations that I've had with my friend over the years. And I started replaying all the things that she told me she wanted to do in her life. And I started recounting the things that didn't happen. And I started to think about that. And then was like, okay, you have things that you keep talking about that you are not doing because of X, Y, and Z.
Right.
So, what are you going to do now? And so, since then, it has been me kind of sitting back and looking at my life, my dreams, the different aspects of my dreams, and things that I have been holding on to for a really long time and saying, okay, how can I realistically bring this thing into life
Right.
without it becoming a burden to me, but still bringing it forth, still manifesting it forth so that when I am 90, I'm like, I did that.
Yeah.
I did that.
I did that.
And
That's what you
yeah,
say.
right. I did that
Yeah.
because there are so many reasons why my dear friend wasn't able to do some of the things she did. And it's not like to slam her or anything. It is to look at the fact that life is short
Yeah.
and that we are not promised tomorrow. And so while we have today, what is our plan?
That's your plan.
What are we going to do?
And be prepared for what's gonna come up as you're working on it. One of the things
Yes.
and I did mention is, man, we run out of time.
Go
But
ahead, mention it.
one of the things I can tell you too is the things I never dealt with, they started coming up.
Mm,
And it's like now it's like, ooh, all of these things are staring me in the face.
mhm,
And I'm like, okay, I gotta go back to therapy and deal with this.
mhm.
I gotta learn how to face this fear. I have to learn how to address this now.
Yeah.
because there are things that I thought I may have dealt with, but I really had.
Right.
So just be prepared for that
Mhm.
because they'll come up and those are the things that will try to stop you
Yeah.
and tell you what you can't do. But those are actually the things that you need to overcome so
Mhm.
that you can be successful. So don't let it stop. And fear is always the biggest one. It's
Yeah.
always the biggest one. So,
Yeah.
but yeah, so be prepared for that. But guess what? Don't let it stop
Don't let it stop
you. And the
you.
very thing that you're the most afraid of is the thing that you need to do. That is another thing that I've learned. So,
Yeah.
yeah.
And you're worthy of the work that it takes to overcome,
Yep.
right? You are worthy of the work that it takes to overcome these things.
Mhm.
And we want to see what y'all got to put out
I
in the
know.
world, right?
Yes.
Yes, we want to see what y'all have to put out in the world. And we definitely are honored and happy to share the things that we have to put out in the world. Thank you
Oh,
for
no,
joining
thank you for being
us.
here.
Thank you so
And
much.
I guess
Thank you, ladies, for being here. Have a fabulous day. Make sure you take care of yourselves.
yes.
All right. All right.
Bye, y'all.
Bye.